next wave of AI is robotics, where AI, in addition to a language model, also has a physical world model. We work with hundreds of companies building robots, robotic vehicles, pick-and-place arms, humanoid robots, and even entire gigantic warehouses that are robotic. But unlike our AI factory strategy and our experience there, which was really formed through reasoning and deliberate action, our robotics journey resulted from a series of setbacks. As you know, NVIDIA invented the GPU. We wanted to integrate GPUs into every computer. And so we started to combine our GPUs with motherboard chips. And we launched a fabulous integrated graphics chip at the time for AMD CPUs. Our chipset business was an instant success. I think it went from $0 to $1 billion practically overnight. But then all of a sudden, AMD wanted to control all of the technology in the PC, and we wanted to stay independent, so they purchased ATI and no longer needed us. We turned to Intel. That probably wasn't a great idea, but we turned to Intel and negotiated a license to connect to Intel CPUs. Apple was excited about what we were building and asked us to work on a new computer with them, which became the first MacBook Air. Well, Intel saw what happened and decided they didn't want us to do that anymore. And so they terminated our agreement. Well, we pivoted again. And this time, we went and licensed ARM. And we built a low-power SoC, a mobile SoC, the world's first SoC that was essentially a computer, a full operating computer, and it was incredible. Our chip excited Google, and they asked us to work on a new device, which turned out to have been the Android mobile device. Well, Qualcomm decided they didn't want us to do that. And so they didn't want us to connect to their modems, and it's hard to build a mobile device without being connected to a modem. And there were no other LTE modem companies. So we had to exit the mobile device market. Well, this happened practically on a year rhythm. And we would build something, it would be incredibly successful, generate enormous amounts of excitement, and then 1 year later, we were kicked out of those markets. Well, with no more markets to turn to, we decided to build something where we are sure there are no customers. Because one of the things you can definitely guarantee is where there are no customers, there are also no competitors. And nobody cares about you. And so we chose a market with no customers, a $0 billion market, and then it was robotics. We built the world's first robotics computer, processing an algorithm nobody understood at the time called deep learning. This is over 10 years ago now. 10 years later, I can't be happier with what we've built and the opportunity to create the next wave of AI. More importantly, we developed agility and a culture of resilience. One setback after another, we shook it off and skated to the next opportunity. Each time, we gained skills and strengthened our character. We strengthened our corporate character. Our company is really hard to distract and really hard to discourage, and no setback that comes our way doesn't look like an opportunity these days. Ironically, the robotics computer that we built today doesn't even need graphics, which is why our journey started in the first place. So where we are today tells us something and teaches us something. The world is uncertain, as Richard Feynman would say, and the world can be unfair and deal you with tough cards. Swiftly shake it off. You've apparently been paying too much attention to your books. Swiftly shake it off. Come on, that's pretty clever. I made myself laugh. There's another opportunity out there, or create one. Let me tell you one more story. I used to work from one of our international sites for 1 month each summer. When our kids were in their teens, we spent a summer in Japan. Over a weekend, we visited Kyoto and the Silver Temple. If you haven't had a chance to go, you must. It's renowned for its exquisite moss garden. The day we visited was quintessential Kyoto summer day. Suffocatingly hot and humid, sticky. Heat is radiating from the ground. The air was thick, still. Along with the other tourists, we wandered through the meticulously groomed moss garden. And I noticed the lone gardener. Now remember, the moss garden, this is the Silver Temple, the moss garden is gigantic. It's about the size of this courtyard. And it has the largest collection of just about apparently every species of moss in the world. And it's just exquisitely maintained. I noticed the lone gardener squatting, carefully picking at the moss with a bamboo tweezer and putting it in the bamboo basket. And so I walked up to him and I said, "What are you doing?" And in his English, he said, "I'm picking dead moss. I'm taking care of my garden." And I said, "But your garden is so big." And he responded, "I have cared for my garden for 25 years. I have plenty of time." Well, that was one of the most profound learnings in my life, and it really taught me something. This gardener has dedicated himself to his craft and doing his life's work. And when you do that, you have plenty of time. I begin each morning, I do every single morning exactly the same way. I begin each morning by doing my highest priority work first. I have a very clear priority list, and I start from the highest priority work first. Before I even get to work, my day is already a success. I've already completed my most important work and can dedicate my day to helping others. And when people apologize for interrupting me, I always say, I have plenty of time. And I do. Graduates of the class of 2024, I can hardly imagine anyone more prepared for the future than you. You dedicated yourself, you worked hard, you earned a world-class education from one of the most prestigious schools in the world. And as you commence into the next stage, take my learnings, and hopefully they'll help you along the way. I hope you believe in something unconventional, something unexplored. But let it be informed and let it be reasoned. Then dedicate yourself to making it happen. You may find your GPU. You may find your CUDA. You may find your generative AI. You may find your NVIDIA. I hope you will see setbacks as new opportunities. Your pain and suffering will strengthen your character, your resilience and agility, and they are the ultimate superpowers. Of all of the things that I value most about my abilities, intelligence is not top of that list. My ability to endure pain and suffering, my ability to work on something for a very, very long period of time, my ability to handle setbacks and see the opportunity just around the corner, I consider to be my superpowers. And I hope they're yours. And I hope you find a craft. I hope you find a craft It's not important to decide on day one. It's not even important to decide anytime soon. But I hope you do find a craft that you want to dedicate your lifetime to perfecting, to hone the skills of, and let it be your life's work. And then lastly, prioritize your life. There's so many things going on. There's so many things to do. But prioritize your life, and you will have plenty of time to do the important things. Congratulations, class of 2024. Go get them.